my first video blog for Pause Boo. I wanted to talk about my favorite book at the moment, The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. This is a spiritual path to higher creativity. It's a book that came out in the 90s. I stumbled upon it actually after being told by 3 different people, you need to read this book. My husband and I have moved to Chicago from New York City, and it was a big step of faith for both of us. We just felt God calling us here, and not really sure of the specifics, but we made the move. And then I got here and started a great new job, but there was no break in between that job. There was no pause. And so I ended up getting off the racetrack and trying to figure out, in the effort of trying to figure out what happens next, this book was recommended to me. So I committed to it. It's 12 weeks. Here's the kicker. This is what you've got to commit to, non-negotiable here. To wake up every morning and to write. What do you mean by that? I mean pen to paper, old school style. To get up every morning and get your thoughts out onto paper. And the other commitment is to take yourself out on a date every week. So that's kind of fun because there's no rejection involved here. You must go. There's 2 sides at war inside each of us. There is the person that we are created to be, who Julia refers to as little Julia. So it's little Jill, little whoever you are. And then there's also the censor, and that's the voice in our head that with years and with growth and experience, we start to tell ourselves that little annoying voice that says you're too old, you should have tried this a long time ago, who are you to think that you're special enough for this to actually work, you're not going to make any money doing that. All of those negative thoughts that keep us from pursuing our dreams. So this is the efforts of this book are twofold. One is to keep developing like who you are, who you were born to be, what do you love doing, what do you crave, what are your interests. And the other side is, how to recognize that voice when it's coming, how to identify it, and how to find the source of it. That you may say you're bored, but in actuality you're afraid. You're afraid to move on and do something else. So you'd rather keep doing what you're doing and just say you're bored. So this 12-week process unpacks a lot. It's a lot to go through, but it's a really wonderful thing that for me, actually, very literal of writing every day, I found out that I loved writing. I had previously only written for work since college, and so this was really cool to write for play. And throughout the book, she asks you to take some physical, some actual steps towards your creativity, making some commitments to yourself to actually try and put yourself out there. And so that's actually how Pause Boo was born. It's just a small little thing right now, but it truly gives me an outlet and gives me a source of joy throughout the weeks to process and to create. And so I'm really excited about that. And I'm really excited about this book. I ask that you consider picking it up and let me know what you think. At least if I'm the first person to tell you about this book, by the time the 3rd person tells you you should read it, that you actually go and